Player ratings then, Sheffield United 0, Everton 1. A fantastic 3 points by Carlo Ancelotti in a performance that was much better than the ones that we've seen over the last couple of weeks or so. Everton getting their first 3 points since the Leicester win a few weeks ago, and Carlo Ancelotti changing the formation to a formation that we've become quite used to over the last sort of 18 months or so. Not under Carlo Ancelotti, but certainly under the previous manager, Marco Silva. And it worked really well today. It did. Look, I spoke about how important I felt the formation change was in the instant match reaction, and I thought it worked fantastically. But anyway, into the player ratings. Starting off then with Jordan Pickford. They've gone for the 7 for Jordan. Again, a pretty decent game, average game for Jordan Pickford. Didn't really have an awful lot to do. Thought there was a couple of times when a ball come into the box and he sort of flapped a little bit at it. One of them we were given a free kick for, where he's given a little bit of a nudge in the back, but he puts himself in the air and tries to bat the ball away, which I thought was strange. But again, it's just me being picky. He didn't do anything wrong, did he? Let's be perfectly honest. He didn't have an awful lot to do. Sheffield United really didn't impress me going forward today. They didn't have many opportunities whatsoever, and that was partly because of how well Everton defended today. But again, Jordan Pickford didn't have an awful lot to do. I don't think there was a shot in the first half of Sheffield United on target, so I've given him a 7. Luca Dean, I've given him an 8. I thought he was really good today. Absolutely fantastic. Again, showing just how important he is to this Everton squad. Definitely one of our best players, and he's been one of our better players even through the poor performances. Defensively, again, really solid. Done everything he needed to do. Took a whack in the face as well for in the last sort of 5 minutes of the game as a nice birthday present. But I thought he was really solid today. Again, going forward, he was trying to create. He was trying to get some balls into the box. Unfortunately, we just weren't quite there in the final third. But again, whereas the last 2 weeks we've been saying there's been no creativity at all, at least there was some creativity today. We just weren't quite there in the final third. Jared Branthwaite, I've given him a 9. Thought he was absolutely fantastic today, on par with my man of the match today, who we'll talk about in just a second. But I thought he was brilliant again. Stepped in, obviously, first Premier League start, come off the bench in the last couple of games, obviously coming off the bench for injured Mason Holgate against Aston Villa a couple of days ago. Fantastic performance there, and another fantastic performance today. Really solid, done everything that was asked of him. Every ball that come into him in the air, he got rid of. His heading ability was fantastic today. Really confident, calm, cool and collected on the ball as well. Used his feet really well and didn't put a foot wrong. Got us out of a couple of bad situations, as well, when Sheffield United were breaking forward. He was there as the last man to put that final tackle in, which was really good. Michael Keane next to him, I've gone for a 6. Might be a little bit harsh on Michael Keane. He'd have probably got a 7 if his passing had been a little bit better, but I just thought he struggled a little bit today on the ball. I thought off the ball, don't get me wrong, I can't really fault him. Everything, again, similar to Jared Branthwaite, that come into him, he dealt with really well. He got everything out. He didn't make any mistakes, but there was a couple of times when he was caught with the ball under his feet a little bit. His passing sort of led him astray, and he just looked like he was lost a little bit of confidence today. He just looked like he was struggling a little bit out there, and again, nothing came of it, so I can't go into him too much. But just watching his individual performance, he did look slightly more shaky than we've seen, so I've given him a 6. Jabril Sidibe, I've given him a 7 on that right hand side. Again, similar to Luca Dean, had a decent game, didn't really have much to do defensively, got caught a couple of times defensively with players getting in behind him, but we know, listen, Jabril Sidibe isn't the best defender, is he? Let's be perfectly honest. Going forward, again, he broke forward a couple of times, some really good passes into the middle as well. One thing we've noticed from Jabril Sidibe since he signed for Everton Football Club is that he does love that ball sort of from the wide position into the centre of the park, and we've seen him find that a couple of times today, with Gylfi Sigurdsson being on the other end of it. So I thought he had an okay game. Tom Davies then, I've gone for a 6 again, similar to Michael Keane. I could probably bump Tom Davies up to a 7 because I thought he was better today, but his passing still isn't quite there. Don't get me wrong, it was a much better performance than we've seen in recent weeks. He was actually picking the ball up, he was actually bringing us forward. I'll bump him up to a 7. I've just made a decision then, because there was a chance towards the end where he used his body really well, and he brought us forward, and he found, I think it was Richarlison with a really good pass. So again, much better by Tom Davies today. Still needs to work on his passing and his strength. I think he got caught sort of a couple of times, but much better and actually forward thinking for once. So I'll give Tom Davies a 7. Gylfi Sigurdsson, I've gone for an 8. I thought he had a much better game today. I really did. Again, on the ball, his passing range was good. He was getting about the pitch an awful lot more. Don't get me wrong, he's not Garner-esque where he's running around and covering every blade of grass, but he was doing an awful lot more than just standing and pointing today. He picked out obviously a fantastic ball for Richarlison's goal, really, really good ball. And he done an awful lot more than we've seen him do for the last sort of 2 or 3 games. And he actually come off the pitch towards the back end of the game and he looked like he was sweating a little bit. He looked like he broke a sweat. He looked like he'd had a tough game, which is what you want to see. So I've given Gylfi an 8. Andre Gomez, I've given him a 9, on par for me with Jared Branthwaite at man of the match. I thought he was brilliant today. Andre Gomez, his best performance in an Everton shirt, like I said in the instant match reaction, since the injury. He was really composed today, and I don't know whether that was because of that formation change. Like I said, Andre Gomez obviously had become more accustomed to playing in the 4-2-3-1 formation under Marco Silva, and that's the formation he's played in for quite a lot of his time at Everton Football Club. Obviously he got injured and had been injured for most of the time through Carlo Ancelotti's era. Obviously just before the lockdown he returned against Arsenal, so he hadn't played an awful lot of times in that 4-4-2 formation. And even that game against Arsenal and pretty much every game since, I think we've become quite apparent quite quickly that Andre Gomez doesn't fit into a 4-4-2 formation whatsoever. If you're a central midfielder in a 4-4-2, it's so much is demanded of you. You'd have to be able to get forward and create opportunities as well as be back defensively, and you'd have to be up and down, box to box constantly, and he just hasn't got the energy for it. He hasn't got the pace, and I think he lost a lot of confidence knowing that he couldn't play that role as well as he should be. But like I said, reverting back to that 4-2-3-1 formation, I thought he was really, really good today, really composed on the ball, found a couple of really good passes as well, a couple of decent long balls, and thought he was my man of the match today, like I said, along with Jared Branthwaite. Theo Walcott then, I've given a 7 for Theo. Thought he got himself into a couple of decent positions, a couple of good balls across the box as well that weren't met by anybody. Again, the thing is with Theo is he's got a lot to him, but he doesn't have a final ball, does he? His final ball and his playing the final third needs to be an awful lot better. But having said that, he offers a lot more than any of the other wingers, excluding Anthony Gordon, obviously, because he's only young and he's only just broke into the first team. Theo Walcott, I don't care what anybody says, he offers more than Bernard, he offers more than Iwobi, because he actually attacks, he actually runs at defenders with pace. He actually gets to that position in the final third. And yes, okay, his ball at the end of it mightn't be absolutely fantastic. It mightn't be perfect, but he gets in those positions, those dangerous positions. And you know what? He put a couple of decent balls in the box today. One, Richarlison got a little bit of a nudge, so he couldn't quite get to it. And one, nobody gambled on it. But that's that's 2 games on the run where Theo's put some really good balls into the box and nobody's been on the end of it. So you can't really fault him. To the strikers then, Richarlison have given an 8. Thought he struggled in the first half, to be perfectly honest with you. I thought he listen, Richarlison, every game he plays, he gets kicked. He gets kicked off the park, left, right and centre. Teams just foul him. That's all they do. They just foul him constantly because they know how dangerous he is, and he proved that. 2 minutes into the second half, brilliant ball comes in by Gylfi Sigurdsson and Richarlison heads away. One of the best headers you will see this season. I don't care what anybody says, it's one of the best headers you'll see. A fantastic header, and again showing that he only needs that half an opportunity and he can produce that glimpse of magic that we so desperately needed at that time. Again, throughout the rest of the game, he was getting himself about, he was putting himself in dangerous positions, throwing the tackle in as well. What I really liked about Richarlison's second half performance, and the second half performance by everybody was much better than the first half performance, but what I really liked about the second half performance by Richarlison was that he'd known he was getting kicked in the first half. He's known he had players sort of putting in silly tackles on him and making him know he were there, and he was doing it back to them. He was saying, you know what, if you're going to come in at me, I'm going to come in at you. And he was flying in sensibly, and he was putting his body in the way, and he was standing up to players, and she was letting Sheffield United know that they couldn't just bully him and they couldn't just kick him. Along with the goal, I thought he played really, really well today. An 8 for Richarlison. Calvert-Lewin have gone for a 7 again. Listen, you have to feel sorry for Dom a little bit because his work rate is unmatched. He works his absolute bollocks off every game, but unfortunately it didn't quite come for him today. And I think it was Ali McCoist. I don't agree with a lot of things Ali McCoist said, but he said something during the game where he said all his Calvert-Lewin needs is one goal to come, one of his shots to deflect off somebody's arse and go goal bound, or one of his shots to come off his own arse, or just a glimmer of a goal, and his confidence will rocket back up. And you could see today he was desperate to get a goal. There was a couple of times when he had shots on goal and he'd been better squaring it. One perfect one to where Gylfi Sigurdsson's absolutely free in the 6-yard box and Dom decides to go for goal when he should have squared it. But you can't really fault Dominic Calvert-Lewin for that. He's a striker and he wants to score goals, and he's frustrated at himself for not scoring goals, so you can't really fault him for that. And I thought his work rate was really well. It was really good today. I thought he gave a tough time to the Sheffield United back line, and again I've given him a 7. Onto the bench then, Anthony Gordon 7. Thought he'd done okay when he come on. Didn't really have much to do. He had that one opportunity, of course, where he got into the box, and he really good skill to take on the player, and I don't know what he's thinking with the ball. across the box. I'm not going to go in on him, but he flashes a ball across the box, and I could have sworn that there was an Everton player there. I thought, surely someone's there to tap it in, and there was nobody there, so I don't quite know what he was thinking with that ball. He probably should have just gone on his right-hand side and connected in the keeper's near post and had a little bit of a clever finish, but giving him a 7 again. He done okay when he come on. Seamus Coleman, 6. Didn't really have an awful lot to do, did he? Did he touch the ball in the game? I'm not too sure. And Carlo Ancelotti, finally, I've given him a 10. And the reason I've given Carlo Ancelotti a 10, and I know this is going to frustrate a few people, and I know people will say, oh, it wasn't an amazing performance, it wasn't unbelievable, we didn't batter them, so why is it a 10? It's a 10 because I remember looking at that team sheet an hour before the game, and I remember seeing the pure confusion, the pure upset, the disarray on social media of people questioning the formation, questioning the team and questioning the players that were out there, whether it be Davis, Sigurdsson, Gomez, and rightly so, by the way, fans and even myself, I question the midfield, rightly so, because these players haven't been good enough at all in recent weeks. And if Carlo Ancelotti had played the 4-4-2 formation today, I think the result would have been massively different. Having Gylfi Sigurdsson on that left-hand side wouldn't have worked. Andre Gomez in a 4-4-2 centre midfield, 2 with Tom Davis, wouldn't have worked because it's shown before, but he changed it about, he changed the formation, and it worked really, really well for us. Like you said, he got the most out of Andre Gomez, you got the most out of Gylfi Sigurdsson, and ultimately we've come away with a really good win against a good side there today. So listen, you've got to be happy, you have got to be happy. A word on the referee, because I didn't mention him in my instant match reaction. I don't want to be negative, but he was shit. He is added to the list of dreadful referees who shouldn't be anywhere near the highest level of football. He was atrocious all game. But anyway, forget about him, we've won the game. A fantastic win for Carlo Ancelotti and a much, much better performance, and hopefully we can go out there, put in a similar one against Bournemouth on Sunday, end the season strongly, and then go into the transfer window and bring in players that are much, much needed. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on those player names in the comment section down below. Leave yours in the comments as well. Leave a like if you've enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you are new as well. Cheers for watching, and we'll see you soon.